Hello, everyone. Because it's Thursday, which means it's my day, and I'm gonna do a live because I don't feel like editing because I'd rather spend my time doing other things like walking my dog. Who's down there? Yeah. So let's talk about how this quarantine, lockdown, stay at home, don't go outside thing is affecting my practice. First of all, I would like you to know that I naturally am an introvert. So I think stay at home is the best thing that's ever happened. Personally for me, hi! I really enjoy being by myself. I really enjoy staying in my house. If we weren't in a lockdown, I would order my groceries online anyway and go pick them up because that's just, I'm not a huge fan of person-to-person contact. So for me personally, I find that being on lockdown and shipping being closed down, that I've had to be more resourceful in the way that, excuse me, German Shepherd across the street, I'm talking. I find myself being more resourceful in the way that I'm doing things. There are normally things that I would ship from the Northwest, the specific Northwest, and Egypt and some of the Middle Eastern countries, and I just can't get those things right now. So I find myself finding North American equivalents. Not necessarily that the plants do the same thing, they're from a similar family and therefore have similar vibrational energies. Rude. Anyways, so for me, I find that I'm being more resourceful in the way that I'm doing spellcraft. I'm being more intentional with my mornings and my gratitude with the gods. Hi, Shadow. So for me, I feel like this is kind of like an addition to those winter time frames where you're being very introverted, interpersonal. We're gonna come down here and maybe the other dog will stop. Hi. So you're probably gonna see my dog because he's very needy. Yes, you are. Okay, don't lick them. They don't want you to lick them. So for me, it's a lot more of spending time in the morning and being more thoughtful and doing more gratitude and like what is today, where am I at. I find that now that I have a lot more time, I'm more using planetary hours than I would usually. So for me, that's always interesting. I did that a lot in my practice when I was younger. As I've gotten married, had children, running businesses, I just find that I don't have as much free time. But now that everyone is home and doing their own thing, I feel like I have more time. And I work from home anyway, so for me, I don't really understand how that's happening, but it is, and I'm just going to accept it and enjoy it. The other thing that I find is that I've been more intentional about going outside and being in nature. Generally, I would work all day on my computer, just because that's what everybody else is doing. They're working, so I feel like I need to be, I apologize, as productive as other people. And now that everyone who is non-essential is at home, and so I feel like I need to be spending more time outside with my kid or with my animals, and being in nature and watching the changing, watching the buddings, looking at animal spirits who are really prevalent. I've been noticing more animal spirits lately, more so than I would usually, and I'm not sure whether that's because we need them in the time frame that we're in or just because I'm paying more attention. And so I guess I would say that it's making me more conscious about the things that are going on around me and the energies that are more prevalent in my life, and what's happening with them. So I am kind of living the dream. Yeah, I would. So I would say that it's allowed me to be more aware of what I want to add. And it's not what I thought it would be. So being part of Starting Out Solitary, you know, we're constantly talking about different subjects and different topics, and it kind of made me think about that. And before all of this started, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to add, you know, all of these. For those of you who don't know, I practice 2 different paths and I do them separately. So I have a more tribal presence and I also am Kemetic. So before I was like, oh, well, I'm going to source from Egypt and things like that. And as Corona has kind of, I know that's a naughty word and we're not supposed to say it, but there it is. As Corona has put us in more so, and for those of us in the United States who aren't paying attention and are just not listening, we're going to be here for a while, I think. And I think that because of that, I miss the delicacies of knowledge. I miss the delicacies of writing spellcraft, and I think those are becoming more important to me. Like the art and the poetry of words in spellcraft, and how things craft together, and being more sustainable in that way. In the fact that I can harvest it from my own backyard is becoming more important to my practice than it was before. So I find it interesting, the shift of what is my priority in my practice. So I'm interested to see what everyone else is thinking now that we're all home. Those of us who are not considered essential, and what that effect is having on your practice. So I will see you guys in the comments, and I will see you guys next week here on Starting Out Solitary.